Many strange incidents occurred, continuing our discussion of our trip to the Middle East. I mean, we were followed, and our lives were threatened. And I'm sure that one can find the full accounting of that trip. We were there for 21 days. Because in those days, that's what you had to do. And we were trying to, hopefully the election would take place while we were there. In any case, we know that the patriarch was with us, but he also had a contentious synod to work with. There were bishops that were anti-American, pro-Russia because they went to school in Russia maybe, or because they received beaucoup gifts from Russia. The Russians were distributing money galore. But in August 5th and 6th, the patriarch ultimately called the synod meeting. And the dissident bishops made demands to which the patriarchate would not acquiesce. I know who they are. I remember them very well. Nifon of Zahli, Epiphanios, at the time, Paul Corey and Michael Shaheen, and Shidrewi. And the Dowd women were there. And they made all these demands on this aged patriarch. And they threatened to walk out of the synod meeting. The patriarch in his aged years calculated if he could have a legal election when these metropolitans walked out. Now, I was told by the patriarchal vicar in Moscow today, Nifon Sekli, that his namesake, Nifon of Zahli, staged the walkout so that the election would take place. It was a ploy. This is one side of the story. But then you ask yourself, which one do we really believe? But he was a very strong bishop. And all these bishops spoke Russian and so forth. In any case, they walked out. And the patriarch concluded he had enough metropolitans. I believe there were 7 metropolitans that he could have a quorum to go forward with the election. And we were on our way back that day to the United States. And when we landed in Boston to change planes, Father Ruffin called Philip Saliba to hear Metropolitan-elect Philip Saliba's residence, that he had been unanimously elected by the remaining portion of the Holy Synod. It was called to come back for his consecration, which he did immediately. But what was the other result of his election? His election caused the election of Spiridon Khoury to Zahli. They brought him from Egypt and they consecrated him for for Zahli. They consecrated George Khudr for Jebel Lebanon, for Mount Lebanon diocese. This beloved bishop had died by then. And the Nephon had died of Zahli. Anyway, within a short period of time, Ignatius of Antioch, our beloved late patriarch, was elected for the see of Laodicea. So within one short sweep, under the chairmanship of the patriarch Theodosius, initiating the election of Philip Saliba, the whole Antiochian Patriarchate was changed to Western-oriented bishops, and the Russian delegate and his group were expelled from Damascus. Any Russian bishop or the delegation was asked to leave. And hence, the renaissance of the Patriarchate of Antioch commenced with the election of Metropolitan Philip and his former classmates. One who had already been elected, and that was Elias Graban in Tripoli, where the same situation happened. So a new day happened that was inaugurated and initiated by the election of Metropolitan. You cannot imagine the joy. We were jumping up and down in the airport when the operator came on the telephone saying, "This is a residence of Metropolitan-elect Philip Saliba." And thus begins a new era for our archdiocese. And I will continue the story in our next section. God bless you.